One night apart, same tournament, same stage. Two completely different stories. Messi scored a hat trick for Argentina. Ronaldo scored 0 goals for Portugal. And the internet completely lost its mind. But here is the question nobody is actually asking properly. Does the difference in their World Cup goals even matter, and what does it really tell us about both players? Let's start with the raw numbers. Messi has 16 World Cup goals across 6 tournaments. Ronaldo has 8 across 6 tournaments. That's a gap of 8 goals, which sounds enormous. And in one sense, it absolutely is. Messi now sits level with Germany's Miroslav Klose as the highest World Cup scorer in history. Ronaldo sits in 10th place. But here is where it gets more complicated than just looking at a list of numbers. Ronaldo has scored 8 World Cup goals, but 3 of those came in one single game against North Korea in 2010, and 3 more came in one hat trick against Spain in 2018. That means outside of those 2 extraordinary individual performances, Ronaldo has scored just 2 World Cup goals across 4 other tournaments. In theory, those numbers suggest Ronaldo's World Cup record is built on 2 massive outlier performances rather than consistent tournament brilliance. Messi's goals are more spread out across multiple tournaments and multiple opponents, which some argue reflects more consistent World Cup impact. Now let's talk about what actually happened this week because it tells its own story. Messi scored 3 goals. Teared up after his first, received a standing ovation when he came off, and reminded everyone why Argentina are the favorites to retain the title. Ronaldo played 90 full minutes against DR Congo, had 3 shot attempts, put 0 on target, and Portugal drew 1-1 with a team that had not played at a World Cup in 52 years. Portugal's coach Roberto Martinez was asked if it made sense to substitute Ronaldo off. He said, and I quote, "It makes no sense to get the best goal scorer in world football out in a game that you need goals. The problem is Ronaldo has not scored a non-penalty goal in a major competition since June 2021. That's 5 years ago. This is his 5th consecutive World Cup match without scoring. His 10th consecutive major competition match without a goal. Here is something worth saying, though. Comparing World Cup goals alone is probably the least fair way to compare these 2 players. Ronaldo has 143 international goals for Portugal, the most of any male player in history. That record has nothing to do with World Cup goals. Ronaldo also dragged Portugal to a World Cup semifinal in 2006 almost entirely on his own at just 21 years old when nobody gave them any chance. The difference is that Messi won the World Cup in 2022. Ronaldo never has. And at international football's biggest tournament, that gap matters more than goals. So back to the original question, Messi has 16 World Cup goals. Ronaldo has 8. Does that actually matter? If you are talking purely about who performed better on the World Cup stage across their careers, then yes, significantly. The gap is real and it is large. If you are talking about who the better all-round footballer is across club and country over their entire career, World Cup goals alone are not nearly enough data to answer that. The honest answer is the goals gap matters for World Cup history specifically. But it's one chapter in a career that has far more pages than that. Messi is 1 goal away from owning the World Cup scoring record outright. Argentina play Austria next. Ronaldo and Portugal need a result against their next opponents. And Ronaldo personally needs a goal desperately before this tournament defines his World Cup legacy for good. 2 players, 6 World Cups each. 1 with a trophy and a hat trick already this tournament. 1 still waiting for his moment. The number gap is real. But what it means depends entirely on what you think the World Cup is actually measuring. Subscribe to Off the Pitch for every World Cup story, record, and moment explained simply. New video dropping every single week.